Even more interesting developments in this entire Jussie Smollett case. So, page 6, right to report. Jussie Smollett's lawyers make Hail Mary call to postpone grand jury. As you know, the grand jury has been convened. Well, they're going to convene, but apparently his lawyers made a last minute call to get it stopped. So, this is by Leah Eastachewicz. The hell kind of a last name is that? Empire star Jussie Smollett may end up dodging potential indictment charges thanks to a last minute phone call his lawyers made to prosecutors, according to a report Wednesday. The Hail Mary call was made Tuesday, so this is yesterday, just moments before brothers Abehingio and Bimbola Quisandero were set to testify before a grand jury in Chicago. A source close to the investigation told CBS News. It's not exactly clear what Smollett's lawyers told prosecutors, but it was enough for the Cook County prosecutors to postpone the proceeding. Now, it could be one or two things. Well, one of three things in my mind. Now, I remember hearing yesterday that some prosecutor had to step down because her relationship to people involved in the case. One would assume Jussie Smollett. So the call could have been like, hey, this lady's connected to us or something. So they call, she recuses herself. That's one possibility. Number two is they make the call and they say, all right, he's willing to confess. We don't need to do all this. He's just going to confess. He wants to do it his way. He wants to make a public statement. And that's when we get a cringe stand in front of a podium. Well, not even a podium, but something on camera apology that's even more cringier than that ABC interview. Or, still got my tinfoil hat on. Third possibility, they called and said, look, we got some higher up people who are involved and now we're willing to cooperate. I don't know, but so this article continues. The grand jury was supposed to begin hearing evidence that could have resulted in the TV actor being indicted on felony charges of filing a false police report. The brothers reportedly spilled their guts to police after being arrested last week, telling them that they were hired by Smollett to stage the reported hate attack against them January 29th. Man, it has been like 2 weeks. It still continues. They also told cops that Smollett was behind a supposed threatening letter he received at Empire Studio in Chicago a week before the alleged assault. According to ABC News, the claim is now being investigated by the FBI and U.S. postal inspectors. And that's probably what's scaring him the most. Like I said before, that's how Trump's people are going down. Not for Russia collusion, but lying to the FBI. After the Osanderos agreed to cooperate in the investigation, Smollett's lawyers told police that the star wouldn't be doing a follow up interview, a source told CBS. Roughly a dozen search warrants have been issued, including for the 36-year-old actor's financial and phone records. Smollett has blasted his critics, insisting he was the victim of a violent, homophobic, and racist attack just steps from his apartment in Chicago. At first, it was the thing of like, listen, if I tell the truth, then that's it because it's the truth, he said in his first and only interview last week. Then it became a thing of like, how can you doubt that? How can you not believe that? It's the truth. Was it? All right, so yeah, that's the story. So, like I said, I'm seeing one of those three scenarios play out. Either because I did hear about some prosecutor there having to recuse themselves, so that's what made have been the call, and now they're going to switch up prosecutors. Or, like I said, inevitably, we're ultimately going to get the cringy apology. I mean, let's keep it real. They got this dude dead to rights. They got everything. They got the two dudes he work with. You know, those poor Africans. They live sorry, Jussie, but we don't want to go back to Mother Africa and play with lions. Those dudes are like, yo, yeah, no, we ain't going down. Sorry, not for you, dude. And so I find it very interesting though that so apparently Fox hasn't fired him, but is gonna slash his scenes and reduce his role, is the phrase I saw. I find that very interesting. Now, maybe not, because I was gonna say maybe contract wise they can't, but in those like contracts, there's whole clauses to where like you can't embarrass, like the NFL has clauses where you can't embarrass the shield, meaning the league. And like they have that for all those shows too. That's how they can fire Charlie Sheen from Two and a Half Men and stuff like that. So him, yeah, it's not a contract issue. So I find it very odd that he wasn't just completely fired, and that they'll cut his scenes and they'll reduce his role, but he still works there. He still works for Lee Daniels. He still works for Fox. That connection is still there. I'm telling y'all, I'm still going conspiracy. I still got a feeling. I don't know why, but I still got this feeling. It goes a little bit higher than it. Why not just fire him? Because if you just fire him, then then you cut that cord. He's got no reason to keep. Oh, you fired me. Oh, well, yeah. Lee Daniels told me to set it up. Yeah, it was a whole meeting at Fox. They told me to do that stupid letter thing. He could do that. However, you slash his thing. You slash his thing. You reduce his role. I didn't hear anything about stop paying. No, he's still gonna get a paycheck. He's still gonna keep getting a paycheck. So he's still gonna be making money. I find that to be very, very good. And what's reduce his role mean? I mean, they're going to cut his scenes and reduce his role, but that doesn't mean fired. So this dude concocted this whole thing pretty much by himself. I mean, he included the Nigerian, but those are just dudes he paid by himself. He's about to be facing charges, obviously guilty. I mean, there's no ifs, and or buts about it now. Hell, the strongest defense I've seen is some cockeyed, like, friggin'. I'm just gonna believe him until it's 100% confirmed. Like, even those people who like know he's lying, were still gonna be corny. Like, well, no, some support. Yeah, y'all are nuts. Y'all are stupid. But what would be the reason to not just fire him, unless it does go bigger and those people have to keep him around, not completely cut him off? Because if it came down today that he's been fired, not seen slashed, not reduced role, fired, no more money, screw you, then he could just go, well, Lee Daniels was involved. You think I came up with this by myself? No. And it came out he lied to the police in 2007, although it really has nothing to do with this. There's a difference between getting a DUI and like lying about your age or who you are and orchestrating this. So I don't consider those two things connected in any way, shape, or form. But like I said, this case just keeps getting more bizarre, more bizarre. So his lawyers did get them to stop it yesterday. So I heard Harvey Levin on Fox today said that they might be doing the grand jury today. So that leads me to believe that maybe that thing yesterday might have just been that prosecutor his lawyers like saying, "Hey, remember you got to recuse yourself," or something. I don't know, but this whole case, man, and I'm sorry, I'm still going a little bit conspiracy. I'm telling you, why not just fire the dude? No, keep him around. It ain't over yet, but when this cringe fest ends, everything blows over. We'll never use him again. but we'll keep him paid, keep his mouth shut. Maybe some years down the line. I mean, the only thing I can compare this to is what's it, that Steve Ranazzisi's guy who made up the stuff about 9/11, and even that comparatively isn't as big as this. That dude just said, like, he was in 9/11. He didn't, like, call the cops and buy bleach and stage everything. Like, you could almost, like, as crazy as it sounds, understand what he was thinking. Like, he tried coming up in the comedy world, making his story sound a little better. Yeah, I survived 9/11. Then just like 10 years later, someone proved he didn't. Like he didn't freaking buy clothes and put baby powder on it. Goes, oh look, this is dust from Twin Towers when it fell. I was right there. Like he didn't go all out like that. So, but this dude, Jussie Smollett, they got the grand jury stopped yesterday, but probably still going today.